What's up, guys? This is Jake from Collective Comics, here for your weekly book breakdown. Let's get into it. This week we were going to do issues 1 through 5 of King in Black, but this week we're going to stick to 1. I started writing down all the things I wanted to cover in all 5 issues, and it started to turn into quite the video. So we're going to keep the book breakdowns a little bit shorter. We're going to cover 1 this week, 2 next week, and so on and so forth until we get through all 5. But this one is inspired by this comic book right here. If you want to see how I came to own this book, check out the weekly spotlight this week, and I cover everything about how I came to come into possession of that book. But without further ado, we're going to get into this one, starting with what Marvel tells us. Darkness reigns after a campaign across the galaxy. Null's death march arrives to Earth, and worse yet, he hasn't come alone. With an army of hundreds of thousands of symbiote dragons at his command, the King in Black is a force unlike any Earth's heroes has ever faced before. Eddie Brock, aka Venom, has seen firsthand the chaos that even one of Null's symbiotic monsters can wreak. Will he survive an encounter with the god of the abyss himself? From Donnie Crates, Ryan Stegman, J.P. Mayer, Frank Martin, and VC's Clayton Cowles comes the definitive chapter in their 2-year-long Venom saga that changed everything you thought you knew about symbiotes. So right away, this book caught my attention. Other than me having a slabbed version of it, I saw the cover, I saw the first page, I saw the art start, and I really was in from there on. Right away, we see Eddie Brock standing on top of a building, and he lets Cap know he's here. Now, I read King in Black issues 1 through 5. This is part of, a much bigger story. They did issues of Venom. They did the whole King in Black line, and there were some other books. I think I found a picture. If I found that picture covering that timeline, I'm putting it in the video, and you're seeing it now. If I didn't find it, look into it because it's pretty serious. It's a long timeline. If you want to see me cover more books in this timeline, let me know in the comments because I'd love to dive further into the story and see what's going on. But going back to issue 1 of King in Black, we see Eddie say he's here, and we don't know who he is yet. That might have been covered in those other books, but as of right now, in this issue, we don't know who he is. We see him jump off that building, turning into Venom on the way down, and pretty soon he lands in his apartment where his son Dylan is sleeping, and he wakes him up, and they take off. They're going to get Dylan into some hiding because Eddie is pretty sure that the King in Black is here for his son. It's either him or his son. We don't know yet, but just to be safe, they put him in a bunker. As Cap and some of the other heroes arrive at Avengers Mountain, they see the screens and there's all kinds of symbiote dragons showing up. Cap thinks they need a bigger bomb, but Tony Stark sees this as a challenge and he's about to hit the fire button. We see that bomb launch and we see the dragons withering away as they explode and burn. Venom can feel this explosion. He can feel the dragons and he says they can't be stopped. Eddie then locks Dylan in that bunker and prepares for the moment that he knows is coming. Dylan wants to help any way he can, but Eddie says it's much safer for him to stay behind, stay in the bunker. It's for your safety. It's for your protection. And the door closes and the call comes in to move to Plan B. Next, we start seeing everyone in this book. We see the Avengers. We're seeing the X-Men. We're seeing the Fantastic Four. Everyone is showing up to help, but it's made known that Thor is not currently on the planet. He's not going to be available at this time in the book. But we do see some giant symbiote-covered celestials coming down from the sky. And it's made known at this time that the King in Black has defeated the celestials, and now he's here to take over the rest of Earth. Here we see Null for the first time, the god of symbiotes, and he's here to kill the world, and he's in search for Brock. He lets everybody know, bring Brock to me. We think this is Eddie Brock. Eddie thinks this is Eddie Brock. We also know that it could be his son, but we're not sure. We know Dylan's in the bunker. Venom is underground hiding, so he can't be found. Sentry shows up. He's here to save the day. He grabs Null, and he flies into space with him, letting him know this is all about to be over. Really, honestly, we're at the beginning of the book, so we know this isn't the end of anything. We don't know what's about to happen, but just as we think that nothing bad could happen to Sentry, Null turns around and he kills him. Sentry's out. Then Null starts pulling up the ground, engulfing all the heroes down there. There's still people like Storm and Spider-Man who were able to get up off the ground, but everybody that was down there standing on the road and stuff, they are engulfed in Earth. And then he calls all of his symbiote dragons to wrap around Earth, blocking out all of the light, covering the Earth in darkness. The planet is completely dark in this point, and Null thrives in the dark. So we know that if they don't get some light soon, something bad is going to happen. We got Storm using lightning and stuff. They really wish Thor would come and help with the lightning, creating some kind of light around them and chaining all that energy and lightning to all the dragons, trying to help wipe something out, trying to get ahead here. You know, Sentry's gone. He was plan B, but now a bunch of the heroes are wiped out, and Venom feels what's happening up on the surface, and he decides to come and face Null himself. Pretty soon, Null has Venom in his hands, and he says, "You are not the Brock I am looking for." So immediately we know he's after Dylan. But now that he's got Eddie in his hands, he rips his symbiote off of him and drops him to the road below. This was a crazy first issue. I thought it was intense. I like seeing all the heroes. I like seeing all the art. And, you know, Null looks crazy. So, you know, I was in it. I was in it till the end. I almost didn't stop reading this entire 5-book series. I think I took a break between books 4 and 5. I didn't have the time to finish it all, so I had to come back and finish that 5th chapter. But this book was awesome. If you know anything else about this series that I might have missed, not reading any of the other books and just getting King in Black, let me know below. Let me know if you read this book. I think it's been out about a year now. I think it's been about a year since they finished this whole timeline storyline, and I didn't know much about it at all. So buying this book really got me thrown into the wolves here, because once I started, I couldn't stop. But if you want to see how I acquired this book, check out Spotlight tomorrow. Javier also has something really cool on Spotlight. We both ended up bringing 9.8 slabs this week, so check out Weekly Spotlight if you want to see that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon for bonus content and material. Until next time, this has been Collective Comics.